guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. Welcome to Ceramics Week. We're going to start off with some designs inspired by Chris Casey. Let's get started. So first I'm going to start with 3 thick coats of this clay colored matte nail polish, and you'll see why later in the video. So let me just take this opportunity to explain what Ceramics Week will be. So basically, every day this week I will be uploading 2 videos a day based on other ceramic artists that I follow on Instagram, and their information will be linked in the description. So today's artist is Chris Casey. He uses some everyday objects in his ceramic work, and it looks amazing. He comes up with the greatest patterns, so I just want to capture that in today's video. Okay, so now that I've done the thick base coat, I'm going to wait for that to dry. And now I'm going to add the blue matte top coat. And there is a reason that I'm using matte for this. I'll explain that in a moment. So I'm just going to add 2 coats of this because it is kind of a crackly glaze. You can already see it cracking at my top 2 nails. And I want it to be a solid color in order to replicate this design. So now I'm just marking the design with a toothpick, and we're going to play connect the dots with those later. So I have his work displayed in the top left corner of the screen. I'm just going to replicate that onto my nail. So the technique that he uses is called sgraffito. Here's a little vocabulary lesson for those of you who don't know much about ceramics. Sgraffito is basically where you have a piece of pottery and you paint a layer of underglaze onto it and carve a design into that. So yeah, he does a lot of cool designs with that technique. Obviously that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm just painting the design onto my nails because the wavy lines are pretty much impossible to do on nails. So for now I'm just painting the design onto my nail, but in a few moments I will be using the sgraffito technique. So yeah, I'm just about done with this part. I just need to add a few little touches and touch up some other places that I might have missed. There we go. Please be cautious with this next part, and please do not attempt to use an X-Acto knife without adult supervision, and if you are prone to accidents, don't try this at home. So now I'm using another reference photo from his Instagram, and I'm using an X-Acto knife very carefully to kind of replicate the sgraffito technique. I'm just thinly cutting at an angle. I'm not cutting all the way down to my nail because that would hurt. That's why I had applied thick coats of nail polish at the beginning, and I used matte nail polish because it's easier to cut through whenever it dries, and it's thick so I won't cut all the way down to my nail. There's plenty of area to carve away, so I'm using that to replicate the sgraffito technique. Don't forget to check out his work on Instagram at Chris Casey Art. It will be linked down in the description. And don't forget to look at my Instagram to vote for future nail videos, and visit my website. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See y'all next time. Hey guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. Let's continue Ceramics Week with our second artist, Joe Thompson at Old Forge Creations. Let's get started. So to start off this design, I'm going to tape off my nails at a slight angle to replicate the swirl form that he does on his pottery. And again, I'm using the matte nail polish because it's very thick and it will give a nice dimensional effect to this design, which is what I'm looking for. So now that I've taken the tape off of my nail, I'm going to take the edge of the brush and just pull the nail polish across on top of what I've already done to add more dimension to it, because his work has like a cool swirl effect and I wanted to capture that in this design. So now I'm just going over it one more time with the matte nail polish, and this is just to blend out all the seams and create like a ripply texture on my nails so that it mimics his artwork better. This next part might get a little messy, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some liquid latex tape around my nails just to keep the nail polish from getting on my hands. So now I'm painting on the base color, which is kind of like an aqua, and I am going with the design because if I go against the design it will mess up the texture that I've made and cover it up, and I don't want that. So this is a new nail polish that I got. It is a hypnotic transforming top coat. If used correctly, it creates like a fluid art design, and it kind of mimics what happens when the glazes blend together. So I'm going to use that for this design because that's what his artwork looks like. Don't forget to check out his Instagram at Old Forge Creations, and check out my Instagram at LilyCharm to vote for future nail videos, and keep up with Ceramics Week. See ya. Hey guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. We're continuing Ceramics Week with our third artist, Curt Hammerly, at Hammerly Ceramics. Let's get started! So I'm using the same technique that I used in the last video, where I tape off my nails and use the matte nail polish to create a dimensional feel to it, and this just gives it more of the geometric design that he has in his ceramic work. Okay, so while I'm painting my nails, let me just tell y'all a little bit about this artist. So he uses a 3D printer to create his work, and sometimes he'll 3D print with clay or slip, which is a liquid clay basically, and sometimes he'll just use the plastic wire that comes with the 3D printer, I guess. So basically what he does is he 3D prints a piece and he'll clean that up and make a mold of it so that he can mass produce that piece and sell it to all of you. A lot of artists use this technique, especially when they're doing like sets of things or things that need to be the exact same size, because it's a lot easier to pour it into a mold and it be exactly the same than to measure it 50 times while you're making it and make sure that they're exactly the same. So I'm just going to add another coat of white because I can still see through the first coat, and then we'll move on to our colors. And since he has a lot of different color combinations, I'm just going to choose my top 5 favorite. So some of these mugs do have some undertones, so I am layering nail polish on my nails to recreate that. So for my index finger, I'm just doing that mug right there in the center that's white with the sort of pinkish red and blue colors. As you can see, I'm working on that one right now. And then for my next finger, I'm doing the one to the right of that. That's kind of a light bluish background with some sprayed on colors. And for that, I'm just using a sponge and this little dotted tool. Now I'm painting the one at the top left corner. And for my pinky finger, I'm painting the one to the left of the center one. And for my thumb, the bottom middle, the purple one, which is my favorite because it's purple, and that's my favorite color. And now all I have to do is throw some handles on them, and we won't be able to tell the difference. Just kidding, but I am very happy with how these turned out. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out his work at Hammerly Ceramics on Instagram, and check out my Instagram at lilycharm to vote for future nail videos. See y'all next. Hey guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. We're continuing with day 3 of Ceramics Week. Let's get started. As always, we're going to start with a matte base coat that's kind of a beigey color to replicate the color of the clay. And for this design, I'll just be putting the liquid latex tape around the sides of my nail rather than around the whole nail. Now on to the painting. So this artist does pretty simple designs on her pottery, and I like it because it's kind of like a backwards coloring book where you put the colors on first and then the outlines, and it's really fun to paint. So I had a little difficulty choosing which one was my favorite. I do like the lavenders, and I have that painted on my other hand. You might be able to see, you might not, but I'll show you at the end. So I chose my top 5 favorite, and I'm putting one on each nail. And since they're all from the same artist and she does about the same style, it will all coordinate with each other. So I just have the 5 different flowers on my nails. So I'm no flower expert, so I'm not quite sure what type of flowers these are. I think some of them are daisies and lavenders and roses, but I'm not entirely sure what all of them are. But they're really pretty, so I'm just going to put them on my nails. So this next nail polish is one that I mixed myself. I just bought it from the dollar store and mixed them together and added a lavender essential oil to it so it will smell like lavender. So I thought that'd be appropriate for this flower. I do have a rose scented nail polish, but it's red and these flowers are more pink. So okay, now I'm going to take a micron pen and just outline all the flowers. Now here's where it really starts looking like her pottery, and if you've ever seen her videos on Instagram, she'll take like a little tool and just draw with underglaze onto it, and it's really cool to watch. If you haven't seen it, go look on her Instagram, which will be linked in the description. Basically, from my understanding, she makes her form and attaches the handle and then paints the design onto it. And she usually just uses like simple shapes like circles and just a dot of underglaze. And then after that she'll outline it in these flower designs and it looks really cool. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to go over it very lightly with a clear top coat to make sure that the pen does not get smeared. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Go check out her Instagram. I'll link it in the description, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. Let's continue Ceramics Week, and let's get started. So I already went ahead and put on the matte base coat for this video because it needed to be completely dry for this technique. And I also went ahead and taped off my nails off camera because it's pretty time consuming and needed to be in a specific pattern. So let's get started with the design. I need to press on the tape to make sure that it's completely flat against my nail so that it doesn't mess up this pattern. So this artist uses different organic line patterns and does different colors in each little section. So some of her designs she uses one color and just goes from light to dark. And then in some of them she uses 2 or 3 colors, and others she uses the full spectrum, making kind of like a rainbow. So it's a good thing that I have a wide variety of nail polish colors to choose from, otherwise I might not be able to do this. Or it would take a whole lot of mixing. So now I've taken off the tape and it's time for the top coat. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow them on Instagram and check out their work. It will be linked in the description. And keep up with Ceramics Week. See y'all next time! Hey guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. Today's ceramic artist is Arnold. Let's get started. Since he uses a darker clay, I'm going to be starting with a dark brown base coat, and then I'm sponging on a lighter brown over it just to match the clay. So I taped off my nails off camera because there's a lot of pattern in this design, and now I'm just sponging on the different colors in each section so that it will look like his pottery. Since he uses really muted colors, I did have to mix a majority of these colors to match his design. So he uses a darker clay than some of our other artists of Ceramics Week, and after it's fired, it turns like a brown color. And his color scheme to go with that is mainly blues and yellows and slight variations of those colors. So it looks really cool in the end. And now for the top coat. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow up on Ceramics Week and check out his stuff on Instagram. I'll have it linked in the description. And check out my Instagram to vote for future videos. See y'all next time. Welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails, continuing Ceramics Week with Laurie Phillips. I'm going to start by layering my nail polish color on the first nail and use matte nail polish so I can sculpt the other 4 nails. So Laurie Phillips uses a variety of different textures to create her pottery, and it kind of resembles like what you would find in a garden or maybe in the ocean. And to me it kind of just looks like a fairy garden on a mug. So right now I'm taking a carving tool and just pressing into the matte nail polish so it will make the indentation and kind of look like the mushrooms that are on this particular mug. So now I'm just using the edge of the brush and giving it more dimension, kind of like how I did in some of the other Ceramics Week videos. So now I'm just adding the textures from this mug onto my nails, and I'm just using different nail tools to add the different textures into the matte nail polish because it's very thick, and at a certain point you can shape it to whatever you want. So now I'm just going to add the color to the inside of the texture. And then off camera I did sponge on a bit of a shiny layer to bring out the edges and make it more dimensional. So now I'm just taking a Q-tip with a little bit of nail polish remover on it and removing a little bit of that top layer to replicate the top section of this mug. Normally I would do this with a cotton ball, but this just gives me a little more control over the areas that I'm removing instead of accidentally removing the whole color. So now I'm just taking the nail tool and scraping the nail polish downward to recreate those curls at the bottom. And I think she used a Celadon glaze to cover that, so I'm just going to use this translucent blue to recreate that. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out her work on Instagram, which I will have linked in the description, and check out my new jewelry designs on my website. See y'all next time! Hey guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. We continue Ceramics Week with Stumbras. He creates really ornate pottery that has an interesting glaze, so this will be very interesting to replicate. Let's get started. So before I started, I shaped my nail to kind of mimic the design that he has on the edge of his pottery. And I did this off camera because it's a little time consuming and would be boring to watch. So he paints intricate designs on his clay using slip. And again, slip is just liquid clay. So for that I'm using the matte nail polish and just a tiny brush tool. Another technique that he uses on his pottery is called water etching, and I've tried this technique on a Paris themed plate set that I made, and it's actually really fun. So the way that I was taught to water etch is you take your pottery when it's at the leather hard stage and you paint a design using shellac and go over that about 4 or 5 times. And then you take a wet sponge and go around that design, and it's kind of like using a crayon and then going over it with watercolor. It's not going to bother what's under the shellac. I'm just going to finish this off with some gold. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out his work on Instagram, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time! Hey guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. We continue Ceramics Week with Elizabeth B. Ceramics. Let's get started. So she uses white glaze in most of her pottery, and a lot of artists do that just so they won't be overwhelmed with color and so people can focus more on the form. So we're going to start with a white base coat. So now I'm using black as kind of a background color because she cuts shapes out of her pottery, so this is kind of like looking through that. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you probably know that I like to go a little over the top with my nails, especially if you've seen the cactus nail video. If you haven't, I suggest you watch it after this, but don't try that at home because it's a little dangerous. So my plan was to get nail extensions and then cut these shapes through the top of that, so it's kind of like a French tip but cut out, and that way it would resemble the artwork better. But sadly, those have not arrived yet, so I'll have to wait for those to come in, and maybe I'll redo this video later with that design. These are looking pretty good. So now I'm just going to add these little gold beads, and she adds a lot of these little gold beads and other interesting designs because her stuff is really decorative and ornate, and the gold just gives it a little pop of color. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out her work on Instagram and check out my awesome jewelry designs on my website. Both will be linked in the description. See y'all next time! Hey guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. Let's continue Ceramics Week with Hannah Billingham Art. Let's get started. So first we're going to start with a white base coat. So now I'm just going to take my little nail tool and sketch out the design onto my nail, and this will just help me get better placement whenever I start to put the little dots on it. So if you've ever seen any of her videos, she actually puts thousands of little dots onto her pottery, even the little miniature ones. Well, that's probably not thousands, it's probably more like a few hundred, but still, it's a lot. And she comes up with this interesting design where it starts out as what I'm doing to my nail right now, and then it goes into like a scalloped thing with a bunch of other beads into it, like what you're seeing on the screen right now. Most of her pottery starts out as like a skinny little neck at the top, and then it broadens out into a wider vessel, and then at the top she just adds like these little dots around it, like right here, and then as it goes down the form it gets bigger and more intricate and just looks amazing. And to me it kind of looks like a string of beads, and she just goes around and around and around putting those little dots on. And she usually does this in about 3 different colors. One is just pure white, and one is white with gold, and then white with navy. So I thought I'd show all of those colors in this video. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out her work on Instagram, which will be linked in the description. And don't forget to check out my jewelry on my website, which will also be linked in the description. See y'all next time. Hey guys, welcome back to Anna's Artsy Nails. We're wrapping up Ceramics Week with hand-eye heart designs. Let's get started. So first I'll be starting with a black gel-like polish, and then I'm going to use a sponge to create a blended effect to incorporate her new design. And now onto the stamping. Luckily I have nail stamp plates that are similar to her mandala designs on her pottery. Also, if you're using nail stamps like this, you might want to have a layer of liquid latex around your nail so you can just peel it off, or you can just go around with a Q-tip and nail polish remover. So now it's just going to be under the lamp for 60 seconds, and then time to peel off the latex tape. Now I'm going to finish off the design with a gel-like top coat. I hope you all enjoyed Ceramics Week. Don't forget to check out her work on Instagram, and I'll be posting a compilation video later today. See y'all next time!